MakingStarWars.net.
Hey, Internet. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and this is Ghost Rob. Boo! Say Ghost Rob. Go boo!
Ooh,
Yeah, spooky. It's
spooky.
Halloween. So it's almost Halloween.
I'm trying not to. You make me cough, man. Jeez.
See? That's what you get for getting your G5.
Part of it's
G5 implant.
psychosomatic. This like fucking cough. The minute I start talking about coughing, I gotta cough more. It's fucking weird.
Sure. Makes sense. Hey, KG, how's it going? Yeah, so today we're just gonna, have a little bit of a chill day. Might be a short day. I don't know. We'll see. But we're gonna talk about the Indy 5 trailer again. There's like a couple of things about that Indy 5 trailer. Like I remember.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
Can I say something first? I was listening to the hot mic with John Roca, and Jeff Snyder. And Snyder had a report about Harrison Ford. He's uncertain if he got ahead of the news or he's behind the news. It's just Marvel right now is saying that it's not factual, which is a little bit of a tiff going on between Snyder and Marvel PR. It's just fun to listen to. You'd get a kick out of it from someone who had to deal with that bullshit. But he was saying that Harrison Ford was going to be cast in, or is cast, or was cast, or whatever, in the Thunderbolts film to take over the role that William Hurt played.
Okay. Yeah. Right? I got some. Bespin sent me the quotes.
Right.
Harrison Ford was Marvel Studios' top choice to play Thunderbolt Ross in the upcoming film Thunderbolts, set to release in the summer of 2024. At this time, Ford has not been cast in the film and is currently unclear if negotiations are going on or if he's already passed on the role. Ford would be the third actor to portray Ross in the live action, following Sam Elliott in 2003's Hulk and William Hurt, who played the character in 2008, up to 2021's Black Widow. Ford would pick up Ross's mantle from Hurt following the actor's death earlier this year. Ross is known as a core villain of Hulk and transforms into the Red Hulk. Ross also founded the Thunderbolts in one iteration of the team of the comics for the Marvel Comics.
But how this ties into Indy, the reason why I bring it up is because Snyder was saying that they wanted to make the announcement at D23, but that Kathleen Kennedy didn't want Harrison Ford splitting the Indiana Jones time up, right? Like, we don't want him there as Indiana Jones. And then also, I'm in a Marvel movie. Like, they didn't want. I thought that was an interesting take.
Is there any chance that this is incorrect?
Well, so that's what Snyder says. He doesn't know if he got ahead of it or if it's behind. He's
because
uncertain.
I mean, Harrison Ford's going around crying like he's never been asked to a dance before. You know what I mean? And so either that was acting, the power of acting, wow, or he was, Look, literally like, this is my last movie, and I'm really touched because this is the last time I'm going to be in front of an audience like this. And so if he was going and doing Hulk in this, like, what are you doing, Harrison Ford? You're really playing it up for that Bob paycheck, huh? Afraid of those retirement years.
Is David Blaine just did an episode of the Hot Ones, right? Where he eats some spicy chicken wings I got to watch, and I need Harrison Ford to also do it, and then I need them together. I need David Blaine and Harrison Ford on everything. Like, I just
get the fuck off of this show.
Right? I need Harrison Ford to actually believe people turn into Hulks and shit. You know,
I want Saw Gerrera and Harrison Ford together. He'd be like, "Get the fuck off the show!" It's like, "Oh, hot!" and Doc Brown. It's like, Marty,
get the fuck out of my house! Like, oh,
it's
shit.
hot.
Like,
yeah, great hot. Okay.
My wife laughed when Wade Jr. right was like on the scene in Andor when he was like, "Oh, the glue will break on the model," right?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
It's like it played well, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So she's all caught up on Andor then.
Yeah.
What does she think about Andor?
She loves it.
She loves it.
She loves it, and she really loves the music too. That's something that stood out to her.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she loves it, man.
Good.
Up,
I mean, that's
up our alley.
That's pretty much what Gilroy said. Gilroy, I think he had a quote saying something like, "I want my wife to care about this. My wife doesn't care about Star Wars. I want her to care about this." And so he was, basically playing it. Let's make a good show. Doesn't matter that it's Star Wars. So yeah, I'm happy. I've watched it. I've had it on some more. I watched it with the kids last night. The kids liked last night. They can do the one episode. 3 episodes of that, too much for them. I understand, like where they're coming from for them.
To be fair, I couldn't take like 15 minutes of Blade Runner. I wanted to. When I was a kid, I was like, I wanted spaceships. I don't understand. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
Aliens I could do. What was the most weirdest thing you could watch when you were 7 or 8? Like,
I don't know. I was probably watching it.
Let's be honest. Like, I don't think we had much of a tolerance. I mean, for even slower stuff, right?
No, we lived kind of in a golden age though of being a kid with TV, with films. Like The Abyss was a throwaway movie, like we talk about. You know what I mean? That was, I guess it was no Deep Star 6.
6th grade when that came out, though. Deep Star 6. I remember the video store placard for Deep Star 6. It was the cutout of that suit.
Yeah.
And Leviathan. Yeah. Remember that fucking
Leviathan?
Shit?
Yeah. I feel like all of those together somehow hurt The Abyss.
It did. Like it all came out before, and that was the one to fucking like. That's what people forget. It's that whole like Deep Impact Armageddon fucking thing. Like Hollywood decides to make a bunch of these little fucking things, and then there's this one coming. By the time that one actually comes out, people are burnt out on the whole water fucking thing.
Yeah, and you just are like no. And I remember what was the other one, Millennium, which had a cool premise, but no one would watch that either.
Remember the show Millennium?
It was the one where all the people like on the plane like show up like missing.
Yeah,
the plane lands.
Yeah, I remember.
It's like a Marie Celeste kind of thing. Yeah. All right, so the trailer for stereoscopic, pretty much.
Every time we do this, my TV, when I play back the episode, my TV goes, "I detect a 3D signal." I'm like, "No, stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not 3D.
Yeah, on some of them I tried to straighten them out, but like I said, the trailer is out there in the wild. There's a couple of there's like a line from the bar, like I said, that people were reporting as she's his goddaughter, and I remember him saying something and it just sounded sarcastic and it didn't sound like that. And when I'm listening to this trailer, I don't hear the line, so I don't know what to make of it. Like I said, I saw this once on No Sleep the very first time.
Maybe they meant to say she's his goddamn daughter. Like,
goddamn daughter. She's my goddamn daughter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just going with I think people were high.
No.
Yeah. So anyways, though, yeah, so the trailer opens up like we said, like I said, you could find it floating around. But with Sala going, I miss the sea, I miss the ocean, and you want to just tell him, Sala, go on a cruise, buddy. You could go. You don't have to stay inside. But he's just kind of, saying that, and then Indy's like, them's the old days, okay. And then it's just like a bunch of stuff. But right here, if you guys remember, we kind of covered this as this stuff was being filmed. And one of the questions I kind of had about it is, did they just show us everything that kind of was out there on the internet? Do they care that much? I mean, it's a pretty small group of people following it. Or did all of the sequences just kind of get out? Which is, you know what I mean? Like, because they filmed practically in real world locations a lot of the times.
Right.
I think that's the more likely scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, here you could see that little tiny car.
Harrison Ford goes, there's always going to be some paparazzi dude who's out there to fucking take a photo of it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Way harder for Indy to get around, Harrison Ford to get around than Alden Ehrenreich filming Solo, a Star Wars story in a field somewhere if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like
Hans McGruber face. What's that dude's name? The McGruber face. It looks just like him, but can't act. That dude.
Yeah. But there's like a couple of things that I'm putting together potentially. I was talking about it with Bestman Bulletin last night. He brings up this one shot where it might be exactly that. It looks like later on in the series of stuff, you see maybe Indiana Jones, old Indy with Toby Jones the actor Toby Jones, approaching himself. It might be the case, and it's hard to say though. This is getting like really kind of fringe. It could just be some, because it's filmed in that old movie style, as we'll just call it. So shadowy figures emerging from the mist could really be anybody, but it does kind of look like Indiana Jones, and that's what Bespin thought it was. And I was like, okay, but then there's a shot later on that to me looks like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, whatever her name is, on a motorcycle, which would be at night when Indy is in his 40s in World War II.
I had this personal, it's not fear, but like theory, whatever. Cause like when we were talking about deep fake guy got hired for Ford, I'm like, I wonder if old Indy would have to team up with young Indy. You know what I mean? You could have two Indies.
Yeah.
Like it's like, instead of his dad, it's Indy, and Indy, right?
I mean, it could also be like if this is what's happening, it could be like Back to the Future, where that conveniently placed thing, or somebody helped you back in that moment back then. You had no idea who it was in 1944, but now in 1969, you figure out it was you who went back in time and helped yourself. And also, if that shot is of her on the motorcycle in World War II, she might be a lady from Indy's past who's come to the future. Just throwing that out there too.
She went back to the future. I was thinking, and I joked to myself, I'm like, oh, so it'd be like Indiana Jones's, like aliens, but you already have Joneses.
Yeah.
Indy.
It's called Indiana Joneses. It's called Jonesin.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and Dr. Jones doll.
Pretty good.
I like the doll.
Yeah, doll. Like he doesn't. There's like contempt in it.
Yeah,
it's the contempt that sells it.
So good. Dude, there's not a lot of that kind of like committal to acting in the mid '80s. You got to remember, like it was really kind of surfacey.
Yeah,
we were going through that music video phase of the '80s where people just wanted to look and let the Breakfast Club music play,
and why didn't they get him in Explorers? Just why didn't they? They should have got him in the Explorers. Just throwing that out there. But yeah. So right here on the left, like I really only included
Gremlins 2, right?
Right.
Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Made that appearance.
But you could just kind of see, like, I saw this in person, so I might be putting more into it than you're getting if you haven't got to see it before. But those shots look really good, and it looks really vintagey. Is what I would call it on the left.
It's hard to tell because obviously this footage is look at it, but the sense I get is that it's more Raiders than Kingdom in terms of like its shot style. You know what I mean? Like it's like if Raiders were made with a modern camera eye, it feels more like that than say like a big CGI backdrop, right? With like
they filmed this. What they filmed this in Scotland? I think it was, and because like the architecture was similar to New York in the late '60s. So filthy. Filthy, you filthy Scottish bastards. We love you.
Yeah, it's called. People don't know that it was originally. Hold on, I gotta do this joke as Lucas, or else I'll get in trouble. You take that quote. I'll set this up.
Jude says trailer looks very good. A few small nitpicks, but it got me hyped for the film. What were your nitpicks? Because I am interested in hearing them.
Yeah, Jason. Not a lot of people know this, but it was originally called Eden Boogers out there. And,
all right.
Yeah, it was pretty dirty. Wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, you are involved.
Rick thought you could do that there, and I had to set him straight. It's not good.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, George.
Sorry.
Bye, George. That guy. We got to stop sending him the invite.
My bad, dog. Sorry.
So, yeah.
I just want like curt apologies from Lucas. Just if you can get like a cameo where he just sends you like curt apologies, like
Yeah. So some of these slides I attempted to like sort of rotate. Some of them looked better when I did it. Some of them looked worse. So we'll see.
Not to bag on Crystal Skull because I'm not here to do that. I actually like a lot of that movie.
Yeah.
Mutt withstanding. But the thing that really drove me nuts about the film, other than Marion, was that really shoddy fucking like temple set. In comparison to say like the Temple of Doom sets, right? And so this doesn't feel like it's like, oh, here's this little fucking thing we set up on the back lot of Nick Arcade.
Yeah. I think a lot of that. I think like to go back to the old film grain conversation. I think that film grain makes a lot of. I think there's a lot of cheap sets in the first films, but that film grain makes a huge difference that isn't there on Crystal Skull. So you're seeing cheap sets
so bad
with really good, like Temple of Doom filmed in that style, but would not look as good.
No. This is why I say you got to bring it back. At least give everyone the option to watch it with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just turn on the grain or something, man. Like, I know it sounds weird, like we're turning films into like video game filters, but since they're unwilling to fucking make a decision, well, we don't know how audiences would be able to fucking tell, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather have the option with some film grain than no film grain,
Yeah. Well, anyways, we got that on the left-hand side, in case it needs any context, because I forget that what we've talked about, what we haven't, is that Indy is at some kind of parade, New York, 1969. It's the day that the guys walked on the moon. I think Buzz Aldrin's there in a car, and New York is celebrating their safe return. And it appears that Indy is retiring on that day or having some kind of retirement party at the same time, but he ends up in action there. There's like a clock and everything.
No more college poonshine for Indy.
I'm guessing, I'm guessing that, and then I think what we have is we have Mads Mikkelsen, who was a Nazi, a terrible Nazi, but he doesn't look like not that there's nice Nazis, but he doesn't look like he was, oh, I am just a scientist and I have been made, like he's dressed in like fucking Nazi, what do you call it, regalia? I don't know.
Yeah, he's owning it.
He's fucking fashion forward for a Nazi at the time. He's way in it. He's everything is shiny, he's in it. And then we see him in this trailer looking like an old Nazi who just made a rocket for the Americans. That's, is it Paperclip? Is that what it was called? Paperclip?
Operation Paperclip.
Operation Paperclip.
As outlined in Winter Soldier.
Okay. There you go. It's all connected.
Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah. So we have, we have that dude just like going through both of these eras, but is it nefarious? Like, is this, I was thinking about this and like, I'm like, man, like if the story is in some way, some guy negotiating with who he was and now who he is in old age, for instance, I'm like, it's kind of interesting that they're dealing with that Nazi on one hand, because when we sort of divorce ourselves from emotion about the ugliness and the war crimes and all of that stuff, like you do have this human being who went and participated in one of the ugliest known recorded things in mankind's history. And then within the span of another half of a life, goes and does one of the greatest feats in the history of mankind, which is like putting us on the moon. And so I'm kind of curious if that's going to kind of be a theme, because Indies,
now they make NFTs. So,
yeah, but how do you do that? I mean, can you do that? Can you take that idea and play with that without being, you know what I mean? Like, can you do a thing like, can you tell
I have a
story
fear,
and a
though,
theme about
Jason,
moving
right?
on? Yeah.
This proliferation of the Nazi scientist stuff, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
get like there's part of that is real. I also feel like this is just where truthers and these kinds of conspiracy folks like to go, see, scientists are Nazis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the Margaret Sanger thing where they go, well, look, that means their whole plan for abortions is to eliminate blacks. Like, that's, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like, this is, so no science. Everything should just be God now. Like, it's just, I mean, you can never control that, but I just think about
Yeah, you
that
can.
sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Also, Jason,
Oh, hey, Dave.
Jason,
Hey,
I want you
Dave.
to know,
Mm-hmm.
originally this gonna be called Indiana Cars. We was gonna team up with Pixar, and it was gonna be all cars
Oh,
and stuff.
pizza.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why India was gonna be a Vespa. That was my choice. And
Yeah.
then Silo, he's gonna be one of them little scooter things. You see that? Look at that.
Yeah. Little
Indiana Cars.
handlebars that come out of his ears. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah.
do it because Lasser, he wanted everyone to wear Hawaiian shirts and boogaloos.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. Whenever Dave, is having a hard day and doesn't want to make any more Star Wars stuff, they just let him go in Cars Line with a bracelet that lets him skip lines there. And then he comes back and it's like a new man. He's like a new man.
I love Mater. Okay, I'm out.
Bye, Dave. Man, we really got to close up the back end on this and just make it work. Just me and you, because these guys.
I hear you.
They all right. So, anyways, I was gonna say was
But you
yeah.
tell
So
Felonious D to close up the back end. He's not
No,
listening to what you're actually saying. Just so
he keeps agreeing, saying yeah, and I'm like, no, I understand.
He's just trying to give you some insight, like on the development process. I mean, that's why it took so long.
Well, I mean, every single time he hears that there was like a leak, he goes, "What's wrong with leaking?" And it's like, no, you don't understand. I agree with you, Dave, on both fronts, but
I love Poggle. You know, remember Poggle? He leaked too, all over that film. He just sat in the fountain, took a big old leak.
a big old leak. Speaking
Sorry,
of
Hoggle.
leaks,
My bad. Hoggle, not Poggle.
Hoggle from Labyrinth,
Yes.
Bog of Eternal Stench, one of the best moments in film history.
I was in the theater watching a puppet piss in a fucking fountain. So giddy.
Yeah, it's so good.
Felt like I was getting away with murder.
No, as a kid, you're like, yeah, they did it. I don't know why. I always wanted this, but I do.
Yeah. I love it.
So I kind of think that they're sort of pulling in a little bit of like the 60s kind of. I mean, maybe it's just as simple as being it's an underwater sequence, but it does kind of give me some like James Bond,
is that underwater?
Jacques Cousteau on the right hand side. We are getting there. We do end up getting into the underwater stuff.
This is one of those parts where I couldn't tell if that's a cave, if they're in a temple. I can't.
We end up with the mixture
of
of a castle with spotlights on it and war, and then underwater sequences with scuba divers.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. Then over here we have on the right we have Indy's classroom.
See, I'm one of those. I'm an artsy dude, but I'm one of those guys who thinks schools should all look like that. Like, I don't like it when schools look like fucking romper room.
Yeah.
Like you can be creative, but I need the school to take itself seriously. I don't like big colorful walls and shit.
My daughter asked me the other day when we were driving, she's like, "Why do all schools have this color paint?" And I was like, maybe it's cheap. I don't know, but it's all like,
They say taupe is really soothing.
Yeah, like, I always felt institutionalized in those rooms, and the smell of school. I despised it. I despised it.
Yeah, I despise the smell at my house too. So
yeah,
I think you and I we just despise everything.
Yeah, that's fair. There's some like weird kind of hand like thing here, and it's from these like two different shots, and I don't really remember if they go together, if it's a juxtaposition of like a hand in a tomb and like a hand on the battlefield.
You remember in Scary Movie 3, like they had this cop whose hat would get bigger and everything. Like, did you ever sit through that fucking film? I had to sit through that once.
Okay, and, I get the
so
gag.
Every scene, yeah. I was like, how did they never make an Indiana Jones spoof where his hat always gets bigger throughout the film or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
He's just got the big, he's got that big Richard Pryor Superman 3 hat by the end of the fucking film and shit, you know?
Yeah, the only one that sticks with me of like a real indie kind of spoof that was of any substance was Weird Al and UHF, the opening.
UHF.
Yeah, that's the only one that I could really recall.
Yeah.
They did a good job too on that thing. Anyways,
Very good job.
Star Wars Santa says, please like the show. Don't break Star Wars Santa's heart. Like the show.
It's not too late. Weird Al can still do that Indiana Jones, and we could get Daniel Radcliffe to play the young Indiana. See, you could put both of them in the.
Maybe you're onto something. So okay. So see these motorcycle scenes. This is Indy chasing the train. I had a scoop that was legit about how Kasdan was riding Indy and now he wasn't. And then I was told it involved a Nazi train of gold, which is like a little thing from the beginning. And Kasdan came out and said that was true. I was writing it, but there was no Nazi gold train in my script. And then we have this train here. Yeah.
What a life, huh?
Weird, right?
Just a sentence you never thought you'd have to utter as a professional. But like,
okay. No Nazi gold trains in my life. But oh, maybe it was a Soul Train and I misheard. No, anyways,
sure. Love that opening. I love Soul Train.
But anyways, these shots right here of the motorcycle of Indy on the motorcycle, we saw them filming this stuff. And him chasing the train down. Then we later on have Indy dressed as a Nazi, wearing a Nazi uniform. He changes clothes and rides out in the motorcycle in that. But later on, there's a shot, like I said, of Phoebe, and it looks like is in this sequence, and this sequence is in the wrong era. So we might have, like I said, we might have the Back to the Future Part 2. Might not be time travel in this at all. But if we are going with the time travel thesis as being the premise, then we do end up with, that might mean that. But it looks cool.
Yeah. And
then we got Indy in that back room of his classroom, like where all the artifacts are stored. And then right here is where Sala pops up and he's like, I missed, all the stuff he misses. And then Indy's just like dressed like a normal guy going, hey man, I'm just a normal guy. Which at first when I saw this, I didn't like Indy's like outfit. I was like, no, man, you shouldn't have him dressed like that. So I'm just like a professor or Indiana Jones. But in a way, I kind of think that this is like Indy like past it all. This is Indy being regular guy. And then I think he's going to have to go back and he's not a regular guy. I think that's kind of
fuck it. They should just put him in the Sergeant Pepper's outfit. Like,
it's the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing that Captain Crunch fucking shit everywhere. Like
he and Marion have 4 or 5 lovers who live with them.
Yeah.
Next summer, and then there's this. I think that's like a mummy or a dead body, like in a tomb, looking like Tote.
Yeah.
And then this is that shot right here on the right of Indy and Toby Jones with what looks like could be Indiana Jones approaching them. So,
Indy?
Yeah, probably. That's
or he meets Indy. This has been my thing since they deep fake it. I'm like, they gotta make Indy gonna meet Indy. Gotta have Indy meet Indy, right?
but well, here's the thing. That's actually young Indy meeting old Indy.
Yeah.
Because we remember in the Toby Jones moments, he has the dots on his face, which would infer that the Toby Jones Indy is going to be de-aged, right? That's kind of where we're at with that. So that would be old Indy coming out of the mist, if that's who it is. But it could just be
little boy sidekick. That's my advice. They'll get you 20 years from now. We'll cancel for that
one. Maybe a short round, but
Don't do it.
Maybe it is. Yeah. And then right here on the left, we got Phoebe, and just in a shot. I think this is from the 60s based off of the clothes that she has on. Then on the right, we see the de-aged Han Solo. Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones. And looks good. Like it looks in that shot, they like pull the bag off of his head because he's been captured. and that's the outfit we see him running on the motorcycle.
Does it stretch properly? You know, because sometimes like they need them to not smile much, right? Like when Guardians 2, when they did the young Kurt Russell, it's like, yeah, don't smile much, just drive that car, and yeah, or hold the same smile, like whatever. Don't change the expressions. Is basically it, right?
It looked. I mean, in the one shot, you know, you got the one shot. Hard to say what they're going to be doing with it. Yeah, but it. I'm
like Working Girls, Harrison Ford, or did he look? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's Working Girl Ford, 100% for sure. He's like,
that's the vibe I got from.
He's like, you know what? He's like, I'm banging Ripley. I'm banging Meg Ryan. I got a lot to live for.
Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith. Who is married to Antonio Banderas, right? Is that right? Or is it the opposite?
No, she was. Yeah, I don't know if she still is, but yeah, they were married. I don't know if they are.
So there we go. These guys are buddies.
How did they never get Melanie Griffith and Meg Ryan in a film in the early 90s? Like, that should have happened.
Because it would have just looked like one white wall of the same thing.
Yes, call it White Wall.
White wall. White walled. Two white women have uncovered a discrepancy in the billing of their company. Will it lead to death? White walled. Melanie Griffith, Meg Ryan,
Cherry 3000.
So this right here is the old Nazi, and then on the left we have the castle with war and stuff going on, and then we got Antonio Banderas right there. I think that's Antonio Banderas, on his ship.
I don't know.
And we've seen Antonio Banderas in the scuba outfit with Indy. Like we have a little boy bringing Indy and Phoebe, or her name is Helena. We'll call her Helena from now on. That's easier. Helena to Antonio Banderas, and then later on we see that they go scuba diving together, and we see some of the scuba diving moments in here. So they need something from the depths of the ocean. And then on the left here we see look at him. That's Mads Mikkelsen as the dirty Nazi. You know.
Oh.
But it's super weird.
They divorced. Griffith and Antonio Banderas divorced after 18 years. Yeah.
Because on the right, that looks like old Indy, correct? It's hard to say. But look, it's the same. It's the same train.
It's the same train.
It's the same.
That's what I'm saying. Young Indy and old. It's the only thing left to do. If you're gonna de-age, you gotta have old Indy and young Indy team up.
Yeah,
gotta do it.
Yeah.
Double impact with Indy.
Something fishy is going on. That's what all I'm saying.
Double Indy packed.
Yeah.
I like.
It's if you loved Face Off and you love Indiana Jones, somehow it's the same thing.
No, they're not trading faces. Like they're just the same.
That's what it's called. Trading faces. No.
Trading face. How did that not happen?
It's like trading places.
Trading faces
with the face-off technology. You were rich until you stole the rich man's face, and now he's poor, like you. Trading faces.
Look, Jason. Look, I hate to say this, but they tried to make that movie Trading Faces, but Dan was too happy to wear blackface. A little too happy. They had to.
A little too happy.
Well, it's not a good look. So.
Like when they were supposed to put Eddie Murphy in the Twins sequel at one point.
Yeah.
It was just going to be tired jokes about being a black man in America compared to being a white man in America, and then them going, "Wow, can't we just meet in the middle?" Like it was just going to be like.
And then I talked him into doing Beverly Hills Cop 3, so I could be in it.
There we go. I saw yesterday that I think that the new Beverly Hills Cop is going to have Kevin Bacon in it. Kind of on board. I kind of want to see it. I want to see where it goes. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Maybe not. I like to think that Eddie Murphy,
something-year-old cop, but okay.
I like to think, but he's a Beverly Hills Cop. That's the difference.
Should be Beverly Hills Militia or
putting bananas
Antifa
in tailpipes keeps you young.
If they were real woke, they would go Beverly Hills Antifa and go, fuck it. Like let's just go get this. Let's team up with the proletariat and take down fucking society. Let's put banana pipes in all the fucking tailpipes, or bananas in the tailpipes.
KG says that never watched Indiana Jones. So I got to say, watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you think it's amazing, then watch them all. If you are lukewarm about it,
someone think it's amazing? They would just think it's fun.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of the most perfect movies ever made, and you could either see that or you have bad taste.
Yeah, but you're talking about people who they've never seen it and they lived through our visual effects spectacle era. They're not going to look at that as amazing. They would say, "Oh, that's fun."
But it's like when you look at like they still watch like Captain America movies that are based off of similar sequences and gags. It's pretty flawless though the whole time.
Well, I got to test this theory out once in 2003. I was dating this girl for a couple years.
This happened to me 4 months ago.
Yeah, she had never seen any of this stuff. And so it was when the Mars rover landed, right, on Mars, right? It was that night. I was like, all right, let's watch Indiana Jones. Good time to watch. Which is weird because we're doing the whole space thing now.
Yeah.
And she legitimately fucking laughed at the whole shooting him with the gun thing. Like, I think that was... But I don't think it, like, moved the needle after having already seen the Lord of the Rings films. It was tough even by then to get amazing from folks.
Yeah, it's such a different thing. Like Lord of the Rings is like people slowly walking across grass, and then Indiana Jones is like grabbing on the trucks and fucking punching people and doing all kinds of fun shit. And there's a monkey. There's a Nazi monkey, for Christ's fucking sakes. A Nazi monkey.
She did laugh at that.
Come on. You cannot get Nazi monkeys in any other movie. So,
although I think all of those Hobbit films would be instantly better if they put them in mine cards. You know, like
that's true. If they had like a little mine card street system and they got on it and like went around,
like Minecraft, yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah, they should do that. Peter Jackson, you lazy fuck. Think for a minute. We thought for 1 minute, and look what we came up with.
Stop making Beatles documentaries. Get on.
Yeah, come on, fucking poser. Make more horror films like you used to. That was cool. Yeah. So, but definitely watch Raiders. Temple of Doom is like one that you'll either love or not like. Last Crusade, great fun. And then on the fourth one, I have no idea how somebody will come to that one today. So, dude says, Sala pops up from behind Indy unbeknownst to Indy and says, bad dates, to which Indy turns and says, these dates are long gone. Cue credits. Yeah, and then they need to do the Young Indy show on Disney Plus and Chicago 1920 bad dates.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So right here on the right, we have Indy with a UFO. I'm pretty sure that I've been on enough UFO forums to know that's a class for UFO.
Pixar lamp.
It is.
He's fucking the Pixar lamp. That's who he's dating now.
That sounds right. Bad dates. And then we got some more shots of the parade. They really went back to the parade a lot, but I had imagined that shot on the left there is going to be like the poster of the film if they have half a brain painted by Drew Struzan in great detail.
Well, he's retired.
But he's not retired.
He is. He's officially retired.
I know what he says, but I see him writing about it, and I know he wants it.
I don't know, man, dude. The hell he went through on Kingdom of this Crystal Skull, like you can feel.
He's today. If he goes to do it, he knows the contract is going to be like, you can't Crystal Skull me. That's what it's going to say. and he came back. I mean,
I can confirm this. That I have that in my contracts too. And can't Crystal Skull me.
You can't Crystal Skull him. And then they went and they Force Awakened him. Remember he did the D23 Force Awakens poster. Yeah. So.
Yeah, up the old red tail, right, Jason?
Yeah. Oh shit.
All right.
Yeah. He likes painting. He likes painting Indy. You know, he did say I'm retired. He did say that. I know he said it. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? You could not paint when you're dead, Drew Struzan. That's what I say. So. And then we got more stuff of the parade. I think that's like the parade, one of the parade cars. And then we have Indy on the horse riding through. And then right here, you just have to do that shot of the hat and him grabbing it for the trailer.
That feels a little right out of like a point and click adventure game menu screen.
It does, right? Yeah.
It's a little set. It's a little set up.
It's even got a little protractor over there, I think, maybe, or something.
If you select the ruler, you go to the settings and you can pick 16:9 and Spanish and whether you want headphone mode or.
Did you see that 6-hour action button review of a game from Japan I never heard of?
You goddamn right I did.
Yeah, I watched like an hour of it so far, but yeah,
I'm watching all of it.
Oh no, I watched an hour of it. Like I watched like chapter 1 of it. I'm not gonna do it in one sitting though. But yeah, after watching that, I can't help but see what you're talking about when I see the screen.
That's right.
And then over here on the right,
very Medal of Honor. Remember the Medal of Honor title screens and shit, where it was like you're in a war room, and they just don't do that no more. Right?
I can actually see that being like digitized and pixelated, and being like the opening of like Super Indiana Jones 5 on the Super Nintendo back in the day. Like it looks like dun, 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 dun.
That little Lucasfilm dude comes out, the little wig twig dead guy. He's got that
little man thing.
LucasArts.
Yeah. On the right, we have the motorcycle that young Indy in the Nazi outfit drives. So yeah.
Well, you always wanted to see Han Solo in a stormtrooper outfit again. There you go.
Yeah, it's true. And then this is like some stuff from one of those little temple things. And there's Indy once again on that set. And I think over here is the Nazi castles. I think that's a Nazi castles. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's from this.
That's that guy we thought. We thought that dude was Mud or something. Remember?
Yeah, we were considering that he was a recast Mutt, but we ended up seeing more footage after that he's the bad guy. He and the really big, strong dude are a really big, like, probably 6'4", 6'6" guy, maybe 6'7", even German bodybuilder guy. Are chasing Indy.
I only bring it up, Jason, because I just want everyone to know that Rob's wrong. Rob's wrong. He thought that guy was Mud. Turns out he's just a douche. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. What's his name? Like Hallbrook? Like Bade Hallbrook. He has one of those fucking soap opera star names that people love. I can't remember his name though. And then right here we got a guy going, "Oh shit!" And I'm guessing that this is maybe the gag from Solo: A Star Wars Story.
No, it's the gag from Last Crusade with the boat when it's going between the two boats, right?
The two boats.
Yeah, he's going and he gets crushed.
Yeah, but it kind of goes. Yeah, but it's more set up.
My soul is prepared. Is yours?
Yeah,
I can do that.
It kind of does look like that guy right there too.
My soul is prepared. Is yours?
Yeah.
Anytime we would do something stupid on a tank, I would do that voice, by the way. And only one fucking dude got the joke, and it was another white guy.
Did you know that the Nazi inside the tank is the guy who did the sword fights for the prequels?
Nick Gillard?
Yeah, he's in the tank. He's like the one when the shot ricochets around the inside of the tank and kills him. It's him.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So right here we have the motorcycle.
Ray's
yeah.
in the movie.
And then right there we have Helena on the motorcycle, which looks like that very night that Indy is dressed as a Nazi on the motorcycle. So
that's the same pose I make on those motorcycles on the carnivals that are, they're those little go arounds. You get
little tiny ones. Yeah.
And they go up in the air and down.
Oh, down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going so fast. Yeah. So right there though. So I'm almost wondering, like, I don't think they would do this. I still think the movie would likely be from Indy's perspective. But if she has, I'm kind of wondering if she's the one who goes through and maybe experiences, like, do we not experience Indy through? Does Indy not experience this adventure in linear time? But she does. That's something to consider.
Yeah, that's super complicated, buddy.
No, it's not. If we start
my head thinking about it.
If we follow her.
Oh Jesus.
Through
this
Indy.
Is a guy who likes Back to the Future too.
I love to. That's my favorite one.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Fucking I think this
I see that look in your face.
I think the guy.
Yeah, you.
I think the guy who made Looper
were like, no, it's genius. No, it's genius. No, it's genius.
I think the guy who made Looper should do an Indiana Jones. That's what I think. So.
Oh God, fucking man.
No,
I hate time travel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a lot of signs that this one is going to be a time
I'm
travel.
not saying I hate time travel stories. I just hate dealing with the paradox of time travel. My favorite book in the world, or second favorite book in the world, I think my favorite book is Drive at this point, but my second favorite book is 11/22/63. I mean, it's all about time travel, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, and that's, I mean, but where
my favorite scene in that book, hold on, is when they're talking about the butterfly effect and paradoxes, and the Chris Cooper character from the show, right, Al, the guy in the audio novel is great because he does that voice perfectly. Before the show, he goes, the main character, the James Franco guy goes, well, what if you went back in time and killed your grandfather? And the fucking Chris Cooper guy goes, why the fuck would you do that? He goes, fair question. Like, why
would you do that?
Why would you do that? To prove what? Yeah, I wipe myself from existence. Smart, you know?
Nick says, don't believe a word Bespin says, but Bespin said, I said D last night. Shit. I think he's meeting young Indy on that train, confident it's some time travel thing. Yeah. And that's the thing is it's young Indy meeting old Indy though, because Toby Jones is with Indy when he has the dots on his face. So that would be young Indy with Toby Jones looking at old Indy coming through the mist, if that is in fact what's happening there.
That's a very Indiana Jones thing to do. I like this.
And then
better than just a flashback sequence, by the way.
And then what I'm proposing is like, what if it's like a story though, like where as young, Helena does things with young Indy, then he gets memories of this, and that changes the adventure. It could be fucking cool. No. I mean, I'd be all about it. I'd be all about it.
He's got a picture and Short Round and Willie disappear and Mutt and what's her face come back into it. Like, is there's two different timelines we don't know about, right? And the Willie Short Round is a different timeline than the Mutt and Marion timeline.
You just hear Indy when you say it's not the mileage, it's not the years, it's the mileage. Come on the tits, and he's like, okay, Helena, and then we see Mutt go,
Indy, we never believed you'd fuck Anne Heche. Remember that movie?
Oh man, that was I remember thinking he was an asshole back then, because she came out as a lesbian during that film. She was dating Ellen, and the big thing in all of the papers was that he was pissed. He was like, "You're fucking our film up. Come out with your personal life, on your own time, not my movie's time," and stuff like that. I don't know if that ended up being true or not, though. I hope it wasn't, but yeah. I hope it wasn't. He seemed a little more fucking hippie.
I didn't buy their chemistry anyway, though. Like,
it was bad.
They didn't have.
It was awful. I watched it once. I never saw it again.
I like Dave Swimmer when he goes, I do work out. I'm like, sure you do.
What the fuck's happening on this left frame?
That's a Dam Busters reference.
Is that a World War II bomber?
Dam Busters. Yeah, it's the same kind of one they use for the TIE fighters and Solo.
What's it bombing? Time travel device?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Just gonna review bomb. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't make it out in that, and I didn't catch it.
It could just be one of those rando shots where you see it through the bad guy's viewpoint, which Indiana Jones does.
Well, because I thought maybe it was like a submarine based off these next shots of the underwater scenes. See, like the blue in the underwater. But it could be, if it is time travel, we could be getting at dropping through time underwater through portals or something. One in World War II in the sky above the castle, one underwater. Something like that. It could be something weird to it, because we don't necessarily have a DeLorean.
A lot of blue and gold in this trailer, by the way. A lot of blue and gold.
Yeah, is that like? I was wondering if like the champagne colors were sort of like a retirement sort of like look. You know what I mean? Of like that's what they were going for. Maybe not, but I think might be that shot from that picture that we had too. And then right here we got Indy right here. Jumping onto like the little car, you can see the little mirror with Indy in it on the left, and on the right.
Indies are closer than they appear. Yeah.
Indy's nuts, and then right here we have Helena, and we have Mads Mikkelsen as a dirty Nazi, but look, he's old with glasses on with gray hair.
She's just trying to get her Jack Reacher novel back,
But look at the window; it's been busted out. You think he's been shot? You think it's like an assassination attempt on him or something? But she kind of having some Jackie Onassis vibes. Like does she have the back of his brains in her hand right now? She's like, oh, I'm just gonna put this back on, and he'll think about Marilyn Monroe some more, you know. But yeah, and then we have Indy on a horse in the subway system, so he goes from that parade into the subway system, and you know. Did you see that video?
This is where he goes to Otis. This is where he's
goes to Otisburg. Otisburg.
Yeah.
The Otisburg plans are right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the videos of those cops who arrest that lady and like put her in the back of a car on train tracks and she gets ran over by the train?
It's so horrific,
fucking nuts. Like,
and the fact that people justify this is the very definition of a police state. I don't know what more you can do than that. Like
the cops must have been the guys from the opening of Andor who tried to kick Andor's ass in the brothel.
Literally.
Like they just felt like just a couple of dunces.
Yeah.
And then right here we have Indy riding on the horse, and he's like, "Oh shit, it's a train, the money train." And then here comes Wesley Snipes, J-Lo.
Look, Jason, you have to understand how much I fucking love the money train.
I know how much you love the money train.
It's in my top 5. Like,
yeah.
You know, Yojimbo, The Hidden Fortress, Seven Samurai, Money Train.
Yeah, Money Train was in that weird time when I was becoming me, but I wasn't quite me. So I'm watching Money Train, collecting basketball trading cards, maybe. And then at the end,
I just love how hard Robert Blake. He's a psycho because he literally is a psychotic killer, and he's full no acting in that role. You know?
Yeah. And then we have them walk into the bar. This is where people say that if they hear something about him being a goddaughter, and I just heard him I hear him like mutter something. I don't think it's that, but I don't know. I don't hear it. If you guys hear the leak trailer, you can try to analyze the audio, which is bad at that part, especially, and does not help. But he basically says, "Get down." He cracks the whip. All of the people pull out machine guns, and he's like, "Oh shit!" There he has the whip, and then everybody pulls out or gun. I should say, guns, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And then there's the oh shit face, and then that's it. That was the trailer. So
it's a teaser trailer.
Yeah, but it still feels like it's the beta of the teaser trailer, the demo. They're gonna clearly go.
Trailer.
Well, no, I mean, I've seen this before. That's what I'm trying to say. You go to D23, they show you the first cut of something that's still missing some of the meat. So when the trailer comes out, it's gonna have a few more money shots, a few more visual effects, spectacle heavy shots, the fucking title, something about the premise, and will be included in it, and then they'll be like, here you go. Most likely that's how this will go, I would think, anyways.
Indiana Jones and the NFTs.
Yeah, and then the NFTs
Indiana
of
Jones
Solace.
And the blockchain. Yeah, the blockchain of Solace.
Opens up. I'm working on the blockchain. And then they're like, and then he goes into the future, and Indy makes a lot of money off of the blockchain with Disney's Indiana Jones NFTs. You could own them all. I own Short Round, that kind of thing.
It's never good to say you own an Asian boy, but
to agree to disagree, dude. It's not okay. Time travel between these scenes. Then perhaps we start World War II times with the train. Then we see the train again in 1969 and find out it's still being used. Yeah. That's a big likely scenario, because like I wasn't really necessarily, when I was conceptualizing the movie based off of what we were hearing, the spoilers and stuff, I wasn't seeing it as they go back to any of those moments, because we saw stuff with like Rome, like the Roman soldiers, and like raiders, like Vikings and kind of stuff, but it does look like we see like that place in Naples. Was it Naples? Where was it at? It was somewhere in Italy, I think, getting attacked. And it looked like it was by, it was like Romans defending against like raiders or something like that. And so I wasn't even looking at it in those terms until we started analyzing the trailer just now. And I'm like, well, if Helena's there, that changes stuff. I mean, it means Helena either goes back or Helena was originally there and she had to have gone in the future, or she would look as old as Indy, and she doesn't. So, and yeah, that train still being used in the modern day thing and being back on it, that could completely just be what it is. And if this movie doesn't have time travel, this analysis is going to be fun to look back on and laugh. I'll also say that much. And I'm all for it, though. So, and then he says, I think it's Thomas Kretschmann on the train approaching them. We get the action scene. Then we're in 1969 where we see another train sequence with the same train still active but hidden, hence Helena. Yeah. Or we have some sort of juxtaposition of like, you know, back then and then by the 1960s, Helena is Indiana Jones for all intents and purposes doing the very similar thing. Yeah, I mean,
it should be called Helena Jones.
Oh my God, Disney is gone woke again.
Woman of Gold.
I am so fucking heterosexual that I hate seeing beautiful women on screen doing things.
She doesn't have big boobs. What's the point?
I just think they should be on this dick or off the screen. You know, that's yeah. I don't think it's gonna go that way though. We'll see.
I don't think they care enough about Indy, but you know.
Well, and then it was good yesterday too, because for like the last maybe year, every now and then I'd be like, hey, Bestman, stop fulleting around. Don't be Bestman Fullerton and watch Willow. And Bestman watched Willow, and he liked it a lot. He might have loved it. I don't know if he loved it. I don't want to elevate it to love, but sure sounded like he kind of loved it. And but he liked it a lot. I'll say that much. And he wants to watch the series, so he started looking at the series. We were talking about it, and there's a couple of things that like about the organization of the show that we kind of put together more cleanly based off of the original like stuff that we heard. Basically, that character Kit, who's like the girl that's going to kiss Enfys Nest in the trailer. That's Mad Mardigan and Sorce's daughter. Dove is a kitchen maid who I think we see kissing the prince at the start. And we know from the casting call that Dove is going to be the magician who becomes Willow's apprentice. So we have a story where the prince is kidnapped, taken beyond the veil, so that nobody's ever been out there. And then Kit is going after the prince. It's her brother. Dove appears to be the girlfriend, kitchen maid. He's banging the help, it sounds like, some way. And then and then she goes with them, and then she brings Kellyman's character with her, who, you know, the Enfys Nest actor, and who's like the sword fighter, and they all go out to find Willow and to find the brother. Then they end up meeting some colorful characters along the way, but we still have the big fucking, or a couple of things in the interviews. They say Christian Slater's in that Willow trailer. I watched it and he's not.
Was he hiding like Snarf?
Yeah, and so he's either like that creature, which I don't think is the case. I think it's going to be Christian Slater, because John Kasdan in an interview says Christian Slater's character used to be a partner of Mad Mardigan, and they would go around having adventures and sword fights and shit with, you know, doing Mad Mardigan shit. And then he's brought into the story. So I don't think he's that, unless they do like he was turned into that creature and they have to turn him into a human again. Let's say they do a Finn Rizal too. I don't know if they would do, but they also keep saying that you're going to fill Mad Mardigan throughout it. So perhaps something happens to Mad Mardigan. Perhaps Christian Slater, having been his buddy, is going to be how Kit learns about her father, who she doesn't know as well, because maybe he died for some reason or something. But yeah. So there's a couple of Willow mysteries out there and because like, where the fuck is Elora Danan? At the end of Willow, they're raising her, but if we go in somewhat of a real time, Elora Danan's mid-30s by this point. So I'm throwing out there just a wild theory. Maybe Alora Dannon went out beyond the veil looking, magical exploration shit because she probably became a magical person. And then maybe she's been kidnapped and they have to go out there to like try to find Alora Dannon as well. Maybe that's a part of the story that they're kind of keeping under wraps. I don't know. It's weird that there's just no one's asking about Alora Dannon because yeah, well that's what does that mean? Hey, it's Willow, man.
What? It's fascinating, Jason. It's
she's the
something else.
But we'll watch. Okay, but here's the whole thing. Is when I saw the trailer and the Kit character and Kellyman's character were like about to kiss, in my estimation, they were about to like kiss. I was like, okay, so you have two new characters, and it might be a bit check boxy, and oh yeah, those ones will kiss. But I thought Dove was the daughter because I'm not going to put that on the screen, but look at this is Dove, and that looks like Sorsha, especially when it's a little bit blurry on my screen right here. And so I was like, whatever. But instead, the actual like character is probably gay. So they made Sorsha and Matt Mardigan's daughter gay, and then that's a bigger decision to do. You know what I'm saying though, in terms of the story and the legacy of Willow and all that kind of stuff. But I'm waiting for those types to get mad about that when that they never gave a fuck about Willow all these years. But we're going to hear about how they've always loved Willow and that they were the biggest Willow fans. And to that, I want to say, why aren't they asking about Laura Dannon? You got to be asking about Laura Dannon, and then the other girl's name is Jade Claymore. That's who that's who Kellyman is playing. So and then her name is Kit, and the more I think about it, that can't be her real name. Like Kit, like if you're fucking Sorsha and you're having a daughter who's gonna be like the princess, you wouldn't name the kid Kit, right? You would.
Fuck, I know, man.
I mean, I'm saying like your mom, your mom's fucking Bav Morda, your fucking Sorsha, that's Mad Mardigan, and then you just Kit. I mean, I guess Mad Mardigan could have just been like, I knew a guy named Kit and he was cool. I don't know, but yeah, or maybe
Shrek named his kid Chip. Why not?
Yeah, it's true. But anyways, old boys. Yeah, it's okay, old boy. We're off it. What is going to happen in episodes 8 through 12? From all the trailers, it seems like we've only hinted at what happens to the Heistville, and they're hiding after what they're hiding what happens after. Well, the one thing that I heard was that there's like 2 episodes are about 2 episodes anyways are about Andor having to fake the identity of somebody else, get arrested, end up in that jail, and then do the prison break thing for people that are making the Death Star parts. I don't even know if they know that. We may watch this and not even know those are Death Star parts, for the record. Like it might be like,
I mean, they mentioned Scarif, right?
They mentioned Scarif, like Scarif's coming, like the way that was put in there. And then, if you remember, like we had like footage from like beach towns and stuff. Both Bespin Bolton and I both had like shots of stuff out there, like on the ocean and shit. And I'm starting to think that we're gonna see Scarif maybe before it's completely locked down. You know what I mean? Like there's still people living there, and then we're gonna see them expelled and the planet turned into a fortress of the Emperor's shit. His secret documents.
Okay.
But anyways, my theory is that we're going to have them get the guns from this heist. And once they do, I think that they're going to go back to Ferrix and liberate them from the occupation that's happening, at least temporarily. But me and Bespin were talking back and forth on this. We're like, do they go right back to Ferrix with the weapons and start right away? Or do they save the liberation of Ferrix for the last arc of the season? So we start with him on Ferrix, then we end with him a completely different man, liberating Ferrix from Imperial oppression after the Empire completely takes it over in the 4th episode.
And does that Mike Kalinowski dude team up with him to do that, or does he join the Empire? That's the real question.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like that guy. I think if that guy comes, we're talking about Karn, serial Karn.
Yeah, he looks just like Kalinowski. Dude.
Yeah,
like, look
yeah.
at that.
I think if Karn comes around, I think it's going to take, based off of this show's speed, gonna have to be some big stuff. But we got to see what happens
when
Karn
subjugate his own system. That's the thing, right? Like, does he become part of the machine, or does he see? I don't know. I think guys like that never learn their lesson. But
yeah, well, we have to see when he meets his mom, because we got the impression from those magazine articles, which also made us think that Clea chick was Luthen's wife, and it's not. That's just Luthen's like assistant.
So that's what I said. I don't think that's his wife. I thought it was in the scene, but then when we watched it, I'm like, I don't think that's his wife. It just seems like that's his.
The early articles it said that it was his spouse. It's just his assistant. Yeah, yeah. He puts on that wig, and no woman could help herself with that wig on. I'm just gonna throw it out there. But those curls, those Luthen locks, as they call them. But yeah. So we've seen Bix in the international trailer going like let's get them. So I think that they're gonna go and they're gonna use what they already have some systems set in place for when the corporate security gets out of hand. They start banging on the pots and pans kind of pipes and stuff, and like communicating that way. So they already have some foundations of we're not going to take shit. And so I think when these weapons, if those weapons from that armory should get there and delivered there, I think that's going to be it. But does a bunch of shit happen before that or not is like the big question. And we know that we're on 4 episodes now. That prison arc, if my sources were correct, they thought was about 2 episodes, but let's just say it's about 3. Since we seem to have like arcs that are kind of like, you know what I mean? Like one getting to the prison might be one, but let's just say that prison arc is a 3 arc right there. And I don't think it happens, after this one, but that would be 5. That would take us up to 8. Then that would only leave like 4 more episodes. So I'm going to go with the final arcs are the prison and the liberation of Ferrix, or at least the fight on Ferrix. Whether they liberated it or not, I think is probably going to be temporary considering the point in time that we're at, but it would allow people to get off the world, especially when you have all of those people there that are laborers, and when the Empire comes in and completely just takes it, they're pretty much slave labor.
Yeah, they didn't do too well with the corporate. They didn't take corporate security coming down too well. I don't think they're going to deal with the Empire showing up too.
Yeah, and they're going to be enslaved. So if they're able to get there and arm them very fast and in secret, and I almost don't think this is going to happen, but I've asked myself more than once, did Luthen orchestrate this? Like was this is Luthen a little Palpatine? Like, good guys will orchestrate big moments in history. Rosa Parks on the train. I don't see how he could Rosa Parks on the train wasn't the first time they tried that. They tried it with a 16-year-old pregnant girl first, and it didn't work. And it was tried. It wasn't spontaneous. It was a leader coming up in a committee, if you will, coming up with a good idea about how we're going to change the world. And so in this thing right here, Luthen may have been looking at going, this place is a hotbed. I see where this is going. I know how this is going to turn out. Started looking at who were the people, maybe talking to Bix at first, but then looking through Bix, finds Cassian, realizes this is the guy, we're going to steal weapons. And then, started pushing the buttons to make it happen. I probably won't go that way, but I could also see it going that way, especially in a spy thriller, Yeah. And how would Cassian feel about that when he figures out, and that Luthen's going to be like, shut the fuck up. It was going to happen anyways. I just got us where we were going. But then he's going to look at it and be like, you kind of exasperate, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of, there was maybe a different way of doing this, because we know that Luthen's probably not around by the time we get to Rogue One. We don't see him in Rogue One. Doesn't mean he doesn't exist, but it also puts him in more in the I'm going to die frame of reference than most. I kind of hope he doesn't, because he's so fucking badass. I kind of want that guy like flying around the galaxy doing all kinds of cool shit. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gilroy does kill him, and then Cassian's like, now I'm him. You know what I mean? Like, and then now the risk, because when we see Cassian, like he does feel like Luthen to some extent. You know, he is getting orders from Draven in Rogue One, but he is, you know, very, very self-sufficient, acting on behalf of the intelligence officers and stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna go fast. I know. I think of 24 episodes in the end, and I'm like, yeah, but when you look at the fact that we're already on episode 4, we're a third of the way through the season right now, and then we probably got 2 arcs left, and at the speed that this works, it's really not that much. But it's going to be good, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I however they're doling out the story, I prefer, or whatever they're doing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
doing what they doing.
Yeah,
that one snuck up on me.
Is that where it looks like Camino? Yes. Yeah, that's like some kind of prison. I don't know what
like
planet it's on.
1138 is what it looks like, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, we heard that it was a prison. People have to walk around barefoot. And then the trailer comes out and they are barefoot. So it sort of seems to verify that report to me, that they work in a little puddle of water and that they get shocked through that puddle of water if they don't make the parts at high enough quality or fast enough. And that's what they were filming. Somebody else one time said that they were making gift gas, but that doesn't really seem to track.
I really foresee some of these cats taking these escape room places a little too far after this episode with the water and the barefoots, right? I could see some dumb fucks going, hey, let's make an escape room where we shock the water, you know?
Shock the body. Shock the body. We were talking about early rap yesterday, and I was thinking about that. Look that up if you never heard it. Dr. Dre produced it. He made that.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
After the atomic dog hit, everyone was like, we gotta do something like that.
I think that might have been like the first like rap hit, which is sad but hilarious at the same time. I love it, so I'm all for it. But Arya says, hope episode 5 isn't only about the heist. Got to get some more Mon Mothma and Luth. Yeah, I think we're gonna have my guess would be the juxtaposition to round out this story is going to be Mon Mothma and Luthen and that stuff, the dinner party, and then we would cut to them doing the action stuff. But will the heist be in the third part of this arc or the second part? Will they put it in the middle or the next part, or will they split it between the two? Would be sort of an organizational question I have, because they say he has 3 days, and we see like day 1, so it would seem like there would still be some day 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if day 2 is more of him on that place and dealing with those characters, and then the next episode is the actual day 3 heist. But hard to say. Could really depend on how much time they want to devote to any of these actions, to the dinner party, to the heist itself, you know. And because if it is that next episode, I imagine people will be kind of hard on it. But anyways, though, yeah, the old Mothma. But anyways, we're gonna call this one a show today, guys. I need to get ready to go pick up the kiddos. And what's today? Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. I think the plan will be 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, unless big news happens. Then I'll just do it when it happens and coordinate with old man
No,
Rob.
we're still doing it at one. They can wait.
Probably at one.
They can wait.
But and then
They don't need to get your hot takes right at the moment. They can
I think they do.
Make them wait. Make them wait.
No, I think they need it. They need it. They need it bad. Oh, also. Miss him.
Boy.
Miss him.
So good.
But all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me as always, Rob. And it's starting to get hot in here.
Snitches get bixes.
So, well, then Rob did it. Rob did it.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.